A&M takes on Missouri and was able to come out with a pretty convincing win here. Joe Zoller's first-time start against a top-5 opponent, probably not as a true freshman. The first thing that you want to see, I thought he held his own for a true freshman. But A&M blasts Missouri. When you recap the game, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the first big thing that we talked about was that coming into this game, it was just going to be too insurmountable for a true freshman, first ever start, to be going up against that defense. And they were all over him. That pass rush was all over his ass. His completion percentage was atrocious. I give Zoller some credit. I think he made a couple of nice throws and did a couple of nice things on the run, but that's the most that you're really going to be able to do in a spot like that, in a game like that. I think the Texas A&M team just kind of reminded us, hey, we can beat you in so many different ways. On offense, Reuben Owens completely popped off. No Lev Moss, doesn't matter. E.J. Smith was really underrated in some short yardage situations in this game. And then we continue to see big plays from Concepcion and Craver. It's just the same story over and over again. But the same story we have to bring up, all of the big runs that they gave up to Ahmad Hardy. Yes. And the production that they gave up to Javon Roberts. I am not saying, to be very perfectly clear here, I am not saying that Texas A&M is fraudulent. I am not saying that. I think that Texas A&M is one of the most legitimate title threats that can be out there. But the problem is I do think if they get a disadvantageous matchup in the college football playoff, or even in the SEC championship game, if they had a face-off with Georgia, who runs the ball very, very well and builds their offense off of tremendous rushing production, I think that there is a likelihood that they get knocked off if they don't bat down and play better run defense. And from what I was reading, I think a lot of A&M fans recognize this. I think that they're kind of coming to terms like, hey, this isn't good. We need to be better, which is so weird because their front seven is so good and they can't stop the run. Blake, that's just the biggest thing for me because the rest of this is just all status quo. We already knew what they were really good at, but the problem that they have wasn't supposed to show up in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And here's the crazy thing, too. They had 35 minutes of time of possession, and they ran the ball for 243 yards. Right? Like, I'm with you on the run defense. I'm with you on a lot of the things that you just said. You know me well enough. I never use this. I actually get on you about it, about saying this. Boy, did their defense check out in the second half. God, they checked out. Joe, they're going to a 5-man box with a 3-man front. You know they can't throw the ball. Like, what were they doing? Here's a conspiracy theory. I'm throwing this out there to you. Don't you yell at me, but it's a conspiracy theory. I thought Mike Elco wanted to yell at them for something. Did you see him losing his godforsaken mind in the second half?
He's always losing his mind.
He's always losing his mind. And I'm thinking to myself, you're losing your mind in a 3-man front and a 5-man box, and they're going 12 personnel and they're running the ball with Ahmad Hardy. That ain't on them. That's on you. I think all right, conspiracy theory time. Is their run defense, has it been bad? Yes. I don't know what they were doing. That is a play calling issue. So, yeah, as much as we love Mike Elko, you can't go to a 3-man front and a 5-man box on 12 personnel. 12 personnel is 2 tight ends, 1 back for those who just picked up football today. They were one-dimensional, and they still ran the ball for 200 yards on you. So regardless of what happened, regardless if I think it's play calling, personnel, and formation, none of that shit matters. LSU's one of the worst run teams in the country. We've seen it all year long. Their running backs averaged 6 yards rushing on you 2 weeks ago. You go into Arkansas. Arkansas ran the ball all over you. So, Joe, you are right. You don't get the benefit of the doubt, even though Ahmad Hardy and Roberts in this team is really good. Now, I got to give credit. I don't think this offense of Missouri was as bad as maybe people would, it's a third-string quarterback. He's a true freshman. He made some big throws. And, Joe, the truth of Missouri in this one, too, and what could have gotten worse for A&M, how many drops is Missouri going to have from the receiver position? This game should have been a lot closer than it was. If this receiving core doesn't drop passes for Missouri, it would have been. But, man, I got to be real with you. This A&M offense, though, is insanely talented. They're so good. Concepcion might be the second best wide receiver in college football for me right now. And I know that might sound like
actually, I would say I think Craver's the better receiver, if I'm being completely honest. I think they're both gifted. I like Craver more than I like Concepcion.
Just does so much other things, though. So many other he's Jalen.
Craver's young. He's younger.
No, they're the same age.
No,
they started sophomore and a junior, right?
No. One's a true junior. The other one is a true sophomore.
Okay.
He's 19. He's a true sophomore.
I'd take Concepcion right now. That's just he's Jalen Waddle, but littler. I'm serious.
I can see that.
I mean, whew, Joe, they can beat you in any way. And I keep seeing Marcel Reed get better from the pocket. Look, defense, you better figure it out, but offense, you better be on every single time. This is the best offensive line in the SEC that I've seen so far.
Oh, yeah. Dude, their offensive line, and we've said this a couple of times.
Basantis is the best offensive lineman on that team. I don't care what anybody tells me.
We said this in the preseason. This is one of my takes that I stood by, was that A&M had the best offensive line coming into the season in the SEC. I really like Basantis. I think that Basantis is going to start to rise as a draft prospect. He was another guy that I really liked in the preseason. And one of my favorite prospects for this upcoming class when I was doing summer scouting. That dude is strong. He's physical. He can move. And I think that the identity of their offensive line kind of, exudes off of him, and they all have a very similar approach. I believe, too, that they dealt with an injury and they had to do some shuffling in the game.
They did.
And it didn't hold them back. It didn't hold them back. That is a testament to what they have on their line.
I think of Bama and the struggles that they had with their offensive line, which they had on their offensive line versus Missouri's defensive line. A&M did not. And the duality of Marcel Reed being able to run where Ty Simpson cannot is very well could be the difference maker here in a lot of situations. Yeah, you're right. Defensively, they better figure it out on the ground. You faced a one-dimensional offense that still ran the ball for 200 yards on you. Here's the thing, though. You're right. They ran for over 200 yards. What did they do in the red zone when it mattered? We keep saying this about A&M. We keep saying that, man, defensively, they're getting whipped in between the 20s. What keeps happening in the red zone against every team that they play? I mean, what happened in the second half versus Notre Dame? What happened in the second half here? What happened in the first half of LSU or second half of LSU? What happened in the second half versus Arkansas? They weren't able to score in the red zone. I mean, I get it. You better clean it up, but they beat you in so many different ways offensively. Look, another hot take. Broyles award winner right now for me is Colin Klein at A&M.
And I think that
it's Colin Klein. Now Matt Patricia should be in there. Like Patricia should be in there. But again, this offense is completely insane. How gifted, because they can do everything, and there's nothing that they can do everything. So then you got to prepare for everything, and they hit you with something else, and you're so screwed.
Right. They haven't been slowed down except for the Auburn game, and every single week they have seemingly gotten better.
Speaking of Auburn, I mean, is there a bigger indictment, by the way, for a head coach this weekend more than Hugh Freeze?
Dude, that was the worst. I hate Auburn so much because one of my picks this week was Auburn plus 6.5, and they lost by 7. I was just beside myself. Yeah, and also, by the way, I think that, and I don't want to spend too much time on this point, but I know that this could open a can of worms. Blake, this week was really a week where it kind of established a problem that's happening in college football, where a starting quarterback signs some sort of an NIL deal, and they're afforded way too many times to start, and they should have been benched much sooner. Ashton Daniels starting was tremendous. You have Van Buren stepping in for Garrett Nussmeier, which I know we're going to get to in a second, and he looked like he provided a layer to the offense that if he had started the game, maybe the game could have gone differently. I think that there are so many guys across the country that could be starting for their teams, and because of stupid NIL procedures, it is screwing everything up. We've got like an example here with Texas A&M of the inverse of that, but they just went to Marcel Reed last year and they haven't looked back.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought
A&M.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they had every reason just to keep Wideman out there.
I mean, listen, here's the thing about Elco that no one understands. It doesn't matter how much money you're getting paid, and he doesn't give a shit what the boosters tell him.
Yeah. That's why he's perfect for A&M.
Perfect, because he don't give a shit. Listen, by the way, he's about to sign a massive extension. These incentives he keeps hitting, by the way, are getting large. Because look, he had from what I understand, he had a massive incentive latent deal. Massively incentive latent deal. He might be this year because of the incentives. He might be the highest paid head coach in the country, and he deserves it.
And he ain't going to Penn State.
That's why Penn State. Listen, I know that we kind of have this SEC Big Ten rivalry, but hold on. You ain't outbidding A&M.
No.
You sure as hell ain't going to outbid them if this man gets them to the SEC championship game for the first time ever. So, look, they are, to me, one of the more complete offenses, if not the most complete offense, maybe outside of Ohio State, but they're really good at what they do. All right,